Hi, I'm Madeline James. I am a fantasy writer and I just recently started my AuthorTube channel. I thought I'd take a break from revisions to kind of walk you through my starter filming YouTuber setup and just show you the weird situation I was in with setting this up and why I made the choices I did when I think of my equipment. I do want to start off by saying that I am a newbie to filming. This is the only setup I've used, and while I have done my research on picking all of these things, I am not really qualified to give advice on this. I can just share what I did, why I did it, that sort of a thing. There are a ton of great videos out there by really experienced YouTubers that can walk you through all sorts of, beginner YouTuber setups that just involve your phone, all that kind of stuff. So if you're really looking for something on that level, I would advise doing a search. But if you're here to just see what I'm starting with, let's get going. Everyone's situation is going to be a little different when it comes to the decisions they make for their filming setup. So I just wanted to kind of walk you through some of mine. I have a pretty typical 9-to-5 job, and I also have 2 small children that go to bed at like 7:30. And so my time to film is almost exclusively evenings after they've gone to bed, or the occasional nap time on the weekend. So I really can't rely on natural lighting for my filming because it's dark outside. My toddler also likes to play before bedtime and during naps during the weekend. And my 6-month-old daughter is just kind of gotten through sleep training, still kind of cementing that in. So they can be loud while they're sleeping when I'm trying to film. So this room that I'm filming in is basically on the opposite side of my house from their bedrooms, which is on the 2nd floor. So in terms of me being able to have enough quiet to not have to worry about them randomly screaming or singing the ABCs at the top of their lungs, messing with my filming. So the other thing about this room is the walls are dark red, and it's 9-foot tall ceilings, and it's not a big room in general. We obviously have dark furniture in here. So basically the light, which is overhead, when I have, I guess, the normal ceiling lights on, comes directly down in front of my face. It doesn't reflect off the walls or anything because it's so dark in here. So the lighting is horribly unflattering. Let me show you. This is literally the exact same lighting, except I turned the overhead lights on. And I still have a light here, a light here, a light there, a light there. It's pretty bad. If I turned all the other ones off, I would basically look like a gremlin. Let's fix the lighting. So due to this room, which is basically it's got a good backdrop that I didn't have to set up. It's the furthest away from my kids when they're being loud and noisy. So this is the best room for me to film in. And due to the times that I can film where I can't rely on daylight and the fact that the lights in here epically suck, I can't rely on those either. So lighting was something that I really had to figure out just to get started because I really didn't have another option or anything default I could use. If you have like a window with good natural lighting, that's probably something that you could use to get started, but not an option for me. So then the other big factor is basically the equipment I already had that I didn't need to purchase for filming. So the camera I'm filming on right now is the Fujifilm X-T20, and I have a 18-55mm kit lens on it, which is coined the king of kit lenses, I believe. And I bought this years ago before I went on my honeymoon, so I already had this camera. It's a pretty good camera. It's mirrorless, it can shoot in 4K. It's not really an ideal video camera. It wasn't really I didn't pick it with the intention of ever, filming video on it. So the audio isn't really that great, but otherwise it works great. And the other thing is I have been on, I guess, Instagram, so I've acquired a few things just for taking pictures with that. I have a ring light, and I had a tripod from, I guess, using my camera before. And I had a few other little odds and ends, I had plenty of memory cards, and things like that. And the other thing I had was I like to play video games, so I have a gaming laptop that technically can handle editing YouTube videos in 1080p. it is a struggle sometimes, and I think if I keep doing this for a while, I'll eventually want to upgrade to a desktop just to properly be able to handle it because it's a little bit painful, but I did already have an editing computer that I could use, so that was, you know, not something I had to worry about. So based off the setup of where I had to, I guess, film videos and what equipment I already had, my two big priorities were audio and lighting. For audio, I got a Rode whatever video micro and a little 3.5 millimeter to 2.5 millimeter little audio connector because the audio jack in my Fujifilm X-T20 is a 2.5 millimeter. So I got those two for audio, and it's worked great. It's super cute up there. I love the red. I don't know. I'm probably not experienced enough to know really how great the audio quality is, but it's a huge improvement from just the base audio that came off my camera, and it sounds really good to me, so I'm happy with that purchase. I wanted something that would work for shooting, I guess, talking head videos like this, for shooting, you know, top-down tabletop videos, for vlogging, just something that would be pretty versatile for me and not be another thing that I had to kind of set up in here because this is also where I write. So this was a good option for me. For lighting, I watched a lot of different YouTube videos. I'll try to remember to link a few that I watched down below, but I wanted to do a 3-point lighting system, which is where you have a key light, which I guess, which is the main light source on me. And then I have a fill light right there, which kind of just fills in the shadows a little bit to not make it look as contrasty on your face. And then I have a hair light, which that was kind of weird. It literally just, the battery gave out. Yeah, a hair light right there. Just to kind of help separate me from the background a little bit, which I think is important given that I have dark hair and a dark background, and you can probably see how big of a difference it made. And then I have a lamp, which I already had just over there to kind of lighten up the background a little bit. It's not really ideal, but it works. And then I have some practicals, I guess they call them, on my bookshelf. So you can see all my little fake candle LED things. They're not real candles. Don't worry, I'm not, you know, about to burn down my bookcase and all of my books. They are fake LED candles. And that just adds a little bit of, I guess, visual interest in the background. So for the fill light, I got a little Newer, I think that's how you pronounce the brand. Just like a little LED camera, just a little LED light. It's only about this big. I'll include some footage of it, but it works decently well. It gets way brighter than I need for this space, which I think is something I didn't really think about very much. It is dark in here, and so I really don't need a lot of lighting in order to get, you know, I don't want to overexpose my video. But so I have that small little LED light, and then I have the ring light, which I kind of have turned sideways like this. If I turn it to face me, I get the little rings in my eyes and it's a little too bright. So if I kind of point it basically towards the camera, just a little bit of the light hits my face and it kind of, I think, works well. It's just, I think it's UB size, just a pretty cheap ring light that I had found on Amazon before. It's fine. It's definitely something I want to replace at some point because it's kind of like weird. I don't know, but it works. And then I have another small, I think it's Newer. Yeah, I think it's Newer. It's just like a little plug-in battery, even smaller than this one LED light that I use as the hair light. And I have a little clamp to hold it up to one of my shelves. So that works pretty well. So I would say that my lighting setup is pretty great. Like, I think this will work for me for a pretty long time, and I think I could probably just keep using it forever. But I would definitely say the worst thing about it is the key light, and if I, you know, when I get around to upgrading something, that'll probably be the first thing I upgrade, and then probably switch that light over to my fill light, and then I'll get probably like a big soft box for the key light. Because the weird thing about it is, it's a light about, you know, this big, so that's the source, the beam of light that's coming towards me, and nothing's bouncing around in here. It's pretty dark. It casts a lot of shadows. Like, as you can probably see, I get really defined shadows on me if I hold my hands up, you know? And It's not that bad for shooting videos like this, but when I'm doing like map drawing videos or something like that, I will have like 3 different lights set up just like in different places around where I'm drawing, and it's just, it puts a bunch of different shadows on it. It would be a lot better if I just had one bigger, softer light source so that I didn't have as defined of shadows that kind of mess with the drawing. You can look, I think I have a couple world building vlogs up where I'm map drawing, and you can kind of see in those how kind of the lighting is. So I think just a big softbox would help all around. So that would be my next upgrade. So for the general filming equipment that I had to acquire, I have a few small tripods I got that can go from sitting on a desk to sitting on the ground. They aren't super heavy duty, but they work. It's not like I'm, you know, moving around in here while I'm filming or anything, so I don't really need to worry about it that much. And then I have an overhead tripod for top-down filming, just so that I don't have to worry about things being in the way, and I can draw maps or do planning or whatever and kind of show what I'm working on my desk. And then I have a little, I guess like a USB 3 memory card reader for my laptop, because I don't actually have any memory card slots on it, so I had to get this so that I can actually transfer the video files to my computer. And then I did get new batteries for my Fuji camera, because when I got my camera back from the repair shop, when they fixed it from where I dropped it on my honeymoon, I made sure it worked, and then it just kind of sat because, I don't know, I was busy, I didn't go on any big trips, I had kids, like, I just didn't get the camera out for a few years. So it wasn't until I was like, I want to start filming YouTube, I should see if my cameras will work for that I finally pulled it out again. And my batteries were swollen. I actually, I had to look up how to get the battery out of the actual camera because it was so swollen. Luckily, it didn't damage anything, but I had to buy new batteries. So I got new batteries, I got new chargers for them. I think that's the main general filming stuff I bought. So then I'm going to include this. It's not technically part of my starting setup, but I did recently get the things I need to do streaming. I really can't use my phone for this. So I got the Cam Link to basically hook into my laptop a HDMI cable that's capable of 4K that I can just kind of plug my laptop to my camera. And then I got this dummy battery AC adapter for my camera that just kind of goes in there, plugs in. This gives it constant power so that I don't have to worry about my batteries dying. And then I can use my camera sort of like a webcam for streaming. And this makes it so that I don't have to worry about the 15-minute limit, which my camera has a 15-minute limit. I think there's some sort of requirement. I don't remember that if it films longer than 15 minutes, it technically qualifies as something else, and then different taxes apply on something. I don't know. I think you can import software onto your camera to turn that off, but I don't want to do that, so I have this. So that's basically all the physical equipment and tools, I guess, that I got for my beginner YouTuber setup. But then I thought I would mention the software that I use. And this is another situation where what I already had kind of played a part. I'm also not a Mac user. I have a Windows computer. I have a Google phone. So I couldn't use, what's the big one? Final Cut? I don't know. But I already had an Adobe Creative Cloud suite because I use Photoshop and Illustrator for some of my map drawing, and I've used Lightroom before for photo editing. So using Adobe Premiere Pro was kind of a no-brainer. I already had it. It's, a pretty good video editing tool. I just watched a few videos on how to use it, and I've enjoyed it so far. And then for doing my thumbnails, I take pictures, which I edit in Lightroom to apply the same kind of color grading that I apply to my videos in Premiere Pro. And then I take those over to Canva, which I also already had and knew how to use because I use that for Instagram a lot. So then I create my thumbnails in there. And I also use Canva to kind of create any of the little animated graphic type stuff or some of just my text. I do it sometimes in Premiere Pro, but I'm a little bit more good in Canva. So my end screen, end cap screen. there's another word for it. I don't know. But my end screen and my little like intro thing, that's all something that I did in Canva. And so I just pull those over and throw them in Premiere Pro and put them in my video. And then for music, I am using Epidemic Sound for any music that I do, like if I'm doing like a map drawing video or something where I'm gonna have, you know, more shots than just me talking the whole time, I can put music in there. So I'm enjoying that so far. I haven't used it that much, but it's pretty fun. And then I haven't actually streamed yet. I am kind of terrified. I've been putting it off. I've had all my equipment set up. I've done a couple tests and I'm ready to do it. I'm just scared. I'll do it eventually, but I've been playing around in OSB Streamlabs for streaming, and that's been working pretty well for me so far. I think StreamYard is the other big one, but it apparently doesn't have quite as many features. I haven't played around with it yet. I don't know. You'll have to watch videos on those, but that's what software I'm using. I have linked everything down below that I could find. And if you have any thoughts or advice on my setup, I'd love to hear it. Or if you just want to tell me what you're using. I've done a lot of research, so it's kind of really cool to see what everyone else is doing. If you want me to go into more detail on any part of my setup or my process or anything like that, just let me know down below. Don't forget to like and comment. And if you like this video, go ahead and subscribe so that you can see more. And I'll see you next time. Bye.